Hello, internet friends. What is up? How is it going? How are you? Is the glare from the glasses too much? Do you not like it? I'll take it off. Okay, how's this? Now I can't see the viewfinder, so we're just going off of vibes. I missed you. I have a lot of updates to give you, don't I? The last time that we spoke, I was preparing for NaNoWriMo, and I had briefly suggested that I would be doing weekly vlogs during that time, and that didn't happen. And everything is fine. We also thought that we were going to absolutely crush NaNoWrimo, hit 50,000 words, and we absolutely didn't do that either. But everything is fine. My self-esteem is intact. I still had writing updates in general for you. I had life updates, I had personal project updates, and I just want to share that with you. Okay, so let's talk about NaNoWrimo and my writing progress in general so far. So I have been working on Project I Love You this whole past year. Currently, we have, I believe it's 29,000 words in the document. Not all of those are good words, but they are written. And I am actually very close to finishing this first draft. It's not going to be a good draft, but it will be done, which is really exciting. I'm two big scenes away from just considering this done and like just taking a break from it, so that way I can ponder exactly how I want to rewrite it. And again, I want to reiterate that just because I'm saying that the first draft is done does not mean that it is in any way shareable. It's a comically bad draft, and I would die before sharing it with the public. But you know, you have to get your shady drafts out first, and the real improvements come from editing. So we are in shady draft 1 phase, but this is really big because I've never really completed a first draft. So this is a really big deal for me. So I'm really excited. Another really transformative thing that happened is that earlier this month, I went on my very first writing retreat. I have never financially invested in my writing, not since, you know, convincing my parents to let me go to a liberal arts school and major in screenwriting. I have never put any financial stake in like improving my writing abilities. And, you know, mostly I didn't have the money to do that. And it was a big deal to kind of look at where I was in my life last year and realize, you know, I want to take writing seriously. I have the savings to do it, and it was kind of like a big leap of faith for me that I did, and I am so grateful that I had that experience. I can't like praise this writing retreat enough. It was truly the highlight of my entire year. Basically, at the start of 2025, me and my boss had this kind of our yearly like evaluation of each other of how the year went. And unlike most job evaluations, when you work for a small company with a boss that loves you, they're very different. This is a very encouraging sort of celebration of our work together. And she also said that she would love for me to go to a writing retreat in 2025 because she's very aware that I want to be a published author someday. And there was even, you know, tentative talks, not promised talks, of me being able to get that writing retreat paid for by the company. The paid for part did not come to pass. I was not that lucky. But having that conversation gave me the encouragement I needed to just find a writing retreat, book it, and just say, fuck it, let's do it. I found one that was on the cheaper side, and what attracted me to it was one, that it was in Latin America, a region that I've traveled widely in. On the website, it said that it was a retreat for writers at every stage of their writing experience, from total beginners to published authors or on their way to be published authors. And I was very curious as to how that worked, so I called the number, got a hold of the person who runs the retreat, Julie Hartley, and we had a really great conversation. I asked her, so how does that work? How do you manage a class of people with writers of different experience levels? And she said that's a really good question. But I also thought she gave an equally great answer. She said something to the effect of, even if you are at a different stage of your writing journey or your writing experience, we're often talking about kind of like the same things when it comes to giving feedback and giving like improvements. We're often talking about like characterization, how to make characters more clear, more defined. We're talking about conflict. How do you raise stakes in a novel? How do you structure story. So even if you are at very different stages in, say, like making a manuscript, you are still often talking about the same subjects when it comes to improving those drafts. And I thought that was a really insightful answer. I had never thought of it that way. And so I booked it. And this was in January, and the retreat was scheduled to happen November 29th. So it's been a long time. So much happened this year that, like, when it was getting like to October, like into early November, I was like, oh my god, I still haven't gone on that writing retreat yet. It was a group of 14 of us. It was all women and mostly older women. I actually think I was the youngest there, but there were two other girls around my age. It was just an amazing environment. I had never felt more creatively stimulated. I had never felt more open to sharing my writing before. Also, just like something that happened that was truly transformative for me was I learned how to write poetry at this retreat. I'd never written poetry before. I think the last time I tried was probably when I was a moody teenager. And while I have an appreciation for poetry, I'm too self-conscious. It doesn't feel natural to me. It doesn't feel like my genre. And so I never considered it as a thing I could be writing. We are taught a method of how to write poetry, which is basically to first like pull inspiration from the world around you first. We would free write on a topic for a couple minutes, and then Julie would say, okay, now take that free write and just eliminate any extra words. If the word is not necessary to convey your meaning, it doesn't belong in this poem. That process of kind of like slowly cutting back, I never thought about doing that before, and that really like opened my eyes to this new way of creating. In her words, like poetry is about conveying your message in as little words as possible, and I never thought of it that way. And that's also a lesson that applies to basically anything you're writing. How do you communicate your message the most effectively? I feel like I'm both going to write more poetry, but also going to take that lesson into my writing going forward. And I loved it! Also, during the retreat, I shared an excerpt of Project A I Love You, and everyone really liked it. Obviously, we were all very kind whenever we gave feedback, and they did have some really helpful edits for me, but overall, like, they were just genuinely excited about it. I remember at dinner that night, like, one of the women, unprompted, just was like, you're a great writer. And I was like, stop it. Why is validation more effective when it comes from strangers? I don't know. I should talk about that with a therapist. But that week, I felt like both gave me this new found motivation to finish the story, and also, more tools to do it. I was so worried at the start of this year about the monetary cost of signing up for this retreat. It's a big sum of money, and I am, I am not rolling in it by any means, but it was really worth it. And I would totally recommend it. I'm gonna ask Julie if I had a referral code or something like that. Julie doesn't know I'm making this video. Julie doesn't know about this YouTube channel. She doesn't know about this video. She does know that I liked her retreat because I left a really nice Facebook review. I'm actually also signed up for an online course of hers as well. That's going to take place in March, I think. So, if like I inspire you to sign up for this retreat, say hi to Julie. I'm curious if anyone else has ever done a writing retreat and what they found helpful. But yeah, it was a really big deal for me because this was the first kind of monetary investment that I made in a really long time, and I felt that it really paid off. And I am just riding this like newfound motivation as far as it will take me. I also had like one quick like personal project update. So I have another secret YouTube channel. So another project that has been launched as of, I believe it was last month, is a new YouTube channel that I'm working on called Where Next. It is the YouTube channel that helps you figure out where you will move next as the climate changes. I've been working on this with my co-producer Laura. We're longtime friends. We traveled the world together. I guess I haven't really talked about, my thoughts on climate change, but I believe it's real for one. And we started this YouTube channel that's specifically about kind of like relocation, deep dives into cities that have come up on our radar as potential cities that will do well as the climate changes, especially as temperatures rise, or cities that are kind of in the opposite direction, where it seems that rising temperatures will exacerbate existing issues within that city. And it's a lot of work, it's a lot of research, but it's really rewarding. The quality on those videos is astronomically better than the quality on these videos, and that is all thanks to my co-producer Laura. Laura is the actual competent editor between us. I'm the writer, they're the editor, and we balance each other out. It's a small channel, but we are really proud of the work that we're doing. And if you're also kind of worried about where you might settle down in the future, I think we're delivering really helpful information, so you can check it out. I have it linked below. I told Laura I was going to do this promo weeks ago, and I never did it. But here we are. This is it. This was just a cute little life update. I don't really have much else to say. Those are the things I wanted to talk to you about. How have you been? How are you? How's it going? Let me know in the comments below. I miss you. This is a two-way street. I'm not just talking into the void. I expect the void to talk back and tell me about the void's day. So how was your day? I hope that you've been well wherever in the world that you are. Yeah, in terms of future stuff, I do have videos planned. I have a couple films, so we will probably get another burst of productivity. In terms of posting, I will say it might be still less consistent because writing takes up a lot more bandwidth than I thought it would. I may not be as consistent in posting in general as I become more invested in writing. But I do hope to continue giving you updates on that story because I really am motivated to finish it. And if I don't next year, you should yell at me. If I don't give you an update on Project A, I Love You by next year, I think that you should yell at me in the comments. Thanks for being even like a little personally invested in what I've been up to lately. I really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next video. Okay.